Hey all, here OS Reviews. In this video, we're taking a look at a quote-unquote personal ice and drink temperature station. And this is a 3-in-1 ice maker as well as a heater and chiller for your drinks. So if you enjoy drinking different types of beverages, whether you want to create ice cubes, want to quickly cool down drinks on a hot summer day, or warm it up during the winter seasons, you can achieve that using this little gadget. Using a similar technology found on some of those neck-based AC fans, as well as on some phone coolers and laptop coolers that you may have seen. It's a semiconductor module using thermoelectric cooling, extracting the temperature differences there so drinks that you pop on top will get cooled off really quickly. And then at the same time, it also contains a module on the inside that you can use to create different shaped ice cubes. Alternatively, you can pop a beverage inside the compartment here, fitting a 300 milliliter drink that can cool from 28 degrees down to 10 degrees Celsius in around 30 minutes without any ice or any watering down, so no dilution. Basically just using it like a mini refrigerator when you are on the go. Alternatively, keeping things a little bit warm for coffee, milk, or tea, and at the same time being able to generate some ice cubes as well. So there's kind of an inner compartment which you can swap for different cube versus circular ice cubes of your choice. So having plenty of features that are all related to heating and cooling when you are on the go. Entire unit also claims to be relatively quiet during operation, around 36 decibels. About the same size of a smaller, maybe projector or a Bluetooth speaker, I would say, splash resistant as well. However, it doesn't need to be plugged into power for it to operate. There is no built-in battery of its own, because it's essentially like a mini cooler slash heater refrigerator all in one, so it uses up a little bit more power that way, but pretty clever in combining these features. Now, underneath here, we have the actual machine itself that we'll take a closer look at in a moment. We have the aforementioned power adapter when you're using it at home or maybe in an RV, is using kind of a barrel plug connector there. Specifically, the power adapter here is going to be rated at 12 volts, 6 amps. And then this is going to be the actual ice cube mold, which is crafted out of aluminum, making it a little bit easier to defrost and then pop the cubes out. This is the more traditional square type ice cubes. And then we have another small metal cup that helps, again, increase the speed of which beverages can get cooled down. 300 milliliters, about a standard cup size, I would say. And then interestingly, it looks like we have a little tong that's also included, so you can more easily pop in specific ice cubes and drop it in without touching them. A nice little accessory there, as well as a plate as well, maybe to rest things onto. So pretty solid presentation. The accessories here are all made out of metal. And actually, it looks like you are able to create slushy type drinks, or if you want to freeze certain maybe sodas or sweet beverages into an ice cube form, kind of making small popsicles basically. You can do that as well, but you have to clean it afterwards. So here we have the actual machine itself, and it is indeed relatively compact. Here it is next to a 6.5-inch phone, just to serve as quick reference. You can definitely take it with you inside of a car without too many problems. It has a small little handle here on the top, made out of this eco leather material. We have a display that will light up when it's turned on. There's some vents here that uses a fan to circulate the temperature, for example, pushing out heat when you're using it in the cooling mode. And then on the very back, we have just the power plug. So relatively simple presentation. Very back here also features some soft touch rubber feet to prevent it from sliding around on a surface or a desk. Now, located on the very top here, you'll see there is a handle that we are able to pull on with a rubber seal. This is going to be the cooling compartment essentially, and there seems to be another mold that they provide here as well. This is for creating the spherical kind of fancy ice cubes if you want to use this instead of the traditional block type ice. And this is also crafted out of metal to help with faster cooling. So after popping it out, you can see it looks something like this. Just fill it up with water and then pop it inside of the compartment there for turning into ice. Kind of a sparkly and reminds me of a ceramic or polycarbonate texture. Again, the overall concept here for the thermoelectric cooling is very similar to the aforementioned neck-based AC fans as well as coolers you may have seen for phones and laptops. Also uses a very similar concept of active cooling there to kind of push out some of the external heat into the surroundings using the vents, and then the surface here will get a few degrees cooler as you're touching it. But instead, it's using this in a form to cool off the drink drinks that you pop into that surface. So this is going to be the cup that you can also pop inside here as well if you want to cool it, and it will look something like this. Although interestingly, it seems like the cup itself doesn't actually fully collapse or fit all the way in, so when you're cooling with a beverage inside, it kind of sticks out a little bit. You don't have to close out the lid, which is why it takes maybe a couple of extra minutes to completely cool down in this mode versus the ice making mode where everything is sealed, achieves the temperature a little bit more quickly. And similarly with the other ice cube shape, there's a small handle here as well. You just pop it in like so, and then in this particular mode, you just pour in some water up to the fill line to create the other type of ice cube. So a pretty interesting concept. Just a few final specs here from the user guide to keep in mind. It tells us that the ice tray here produces around 200 grams of ice per session using the Peltier cooling effect. And then during the heating mode, instead, the area will reach around 75 degrees Celsius, aka 167 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely will get a little bit more warm and toasty, although it's not quite at a boiling temperature. So it's more about keeping beverages warm on a cold winter's day more than anything else. Looks like we can also change between Celsius and Fahrenheit on the display as well, and also the entire thing can be set to automatically turn off after X hours of use if you want it to retain temperature for a little bit longer. Otherwise, in terms of the ice creation, it takes around 90 minutes, as you can tell there, to generate an ice sphere, and then it will automatically heat for around 10 seconds at the very end to make it easier to demold. Now, because it is able to actually create ice, it is at negative 6 degrees Celsius at the minimum temperature, which is pretty neat, and some rough timelines to keep in mind. So a cup of water over here, if you want to go from around 32 degrees Celsius to 10 degrees Celsius for cooling, will take around 13 minutes to reach. Whereas for heating at 50, 65, or 70 degrees Celsius, it tends to achieve that a bit more quickly at around 30 seconds to 1 minute. So heating is going to be a little faster than cooling. So we can see this table here as well. For example, Celsius to go from 31 degrees to 16 degrees takes around 6 minutes to reach, whereas going from the same temperature down to 10 degrees Celsius will take around 13 minutes. And then for the heating part, it can maintain the temperature for up to 12 hours before it will take a break. We can turn it on here with a click. This will tell us the current air temperature, around 70 degrees right now, generating ice, cooling versus heating, timer, turning it on and off, as well as another mode key here for going between different intervals when it comes to amount of liquid inside the chamber. For example, up to 120 milliliters versus ice ball, 40 milliliters, that we're able to cycle back and forth between. So yeah, relatively simple and easy enough to operate. Again, an ice station plus a chiller as well as heater, combining those functions all in one. This could also be convenient if you're camping or just enjoy experimenting with different drinks in general. Now, this is currently going to go live on Kickstarter, at least initially, but it's already been fully funded, and the early bird pricing here is around $110, which for a relatively novel kitchen appliance or smart kitchen tech, I would say is not bad if you value the cooling as well as heating capabilities. So here's also a quick diagram that shows you the difference between 40 versus 120 versus 180 milliliters of ice and how much it covers up instead of the drink, so you can know how much you actually need to make. Again, everything here is labeled quite nicely, with the ice sphere here also looking quite fancy when you are using it on the go. The machine seems to come in 2 color versions, although the shell here is crafted out of a polycarbonate plastic, with some of the insides as well as the accessories here crafted out of metal, and otherwise it does have a safety function to prevent itself from short-circuiting as well as overheating, in which case it will stop it automatically, similar to a power station or a power bank. So let's start with testing out creating an ice ball first. I filled the mold here with water, pouring it into the hole here on the very top, and otherwise we're just going to pop it into the inside container. And to speed up the ice creation process, make sure we close up the lid here with the rubber gaskets, and the 90-minute countdown will then start. So this is going to be how loud the machine is, which I can verify, even in the ice making kind of rapid cooling mode, is actually pretty quiet. The fan only kicks on when necessary, so right now it is actually completely silent. Alright, so now we're in the home stretch, kind of the final 10 to 12 minutes, and it's kind of started to stop down the cooling and changing over to heating to make it easier to remove from the mold, kind of defrosting it. So now the temperature is rising a little bit more. Now during operation, the shell is quite warm. It is dispelling warm air in order to, again, rapidly cool down the internal chamber. The heat still has to be transferred somewhere. So just keep that in mind. It almost feels like a small portable heater when you're using it in the ice mode. Now I can also verify now using using a thermal camera, we're able to see the temperature difference a little bit more clearly. So towards the bottom region here, again, the vents getting almost 181 degrees Fahrenheit, but definitely much cooler towards the top portion, particularly inside where the ice is located. Let's actually remove the ice and see if it's been formed successfully or not. In fact, I can verify that there is a little bit of frost, as you can tell here on the inside of the chamber. Yes, the actual chamber is going to be quite cold. We see some of the frost forming on the ice mold. The inside here is going to be cold to the touch. We're opening it up, and it looks like there is a little bit of still liquid yet. Perhaps during the heating process we left it in there for a little too long. But yes, I can verify that we do in fact have a ice cylinder formed using this portable compact machine. So we can actually use this now and place it into a drink, actually looking pretty fancy. Maybe rivaling what you would see in a bar, for example. Just make sure you fill the water all the way to the very top if you want it to be a perfect sphere. It looks like in our initial one, we were a little bit too shallow in terms of the water line, but all in all, not bad. We can pick it up and place it into our cup along with any drink to quickly chill it down. So yeah, decently successful, I would say, as far as the initial kind of ice formation test is concerned. The ice sphere, by the way, is going to be the one that's longest to form because it's just one giant ice cube compared to the smaller mold of using the traditional square type ice cubes are going to be a little faster since they are individually divided versus this one giant block of ice. And so if you're trying to make only 40 milliliters of ice, which fills up to about this quarter line, it will take around 25 minutes to form compared to if you fill it up halfway, it will get closer to about an hour or so, allowing you to make 9 ice cubes on a single batch. So not bad in terms of this general cooling part. And then yeah, if there's a little bit of residue water inside of the machine at the very end, just because the mold isn't going to be 100% tight, you can just pour out the water, kind of clean off this internal compartment, and you're ready to go. Now, one thing I will say though is if you are making ice, it looks like you have to take a slight break in between after you create a batch of ice. So that is because the external surrounding the plastic here is going to get quite warm after you successfully create an ice cube, as you saw in our earlier measurement with the thermal camera, actually reaching over 100 degrees. So for the best effectiveness, you would want it to take around 5 to 10 minutes for it to cool off before you create the next batch of ice. Maybe that is one slight constraint of this current technology, unless they have even more powerful fans to dispel the heat. But after a couple of minutes, it will then cool down and you can start using it once again. But we are currently indoors as well, where there is a room heater and the temperature of the room is around 70 degrees give and take. Now, as far as the capacity of this tank, again, it still is able to fit in smaller drinks without too many problems if you're just trying to cool something directly like this. For example, a general sized can of soda as well as beer can fit in without too many problems, as you can see there. Other glass containers, which are single serving, can also fit in as well, like this, again, soda can, as well as even maybe coffee containers, like this jar here, which is technically from Starbucks, as you can see, can also fit in as well without too many issues. So the container size generally works decently for most single serving beverages, although obviously if you have a giant can of juice, which is meant to be shared, a gallon or a quart, that's not going to fit into the capacity here, in which case you should probably pour it out into the cup and then pop it in here instead. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, smaller carton servings, including of juices like apple juice, also maybe coconut water, things like that can also fit in here without too many issues. In addition to most standard sized water bottles can also fit in as well for a single serving, like this bottle over here on 500 milliliters can also fit in directly. So that's a quick fit test. Alternatively, if you wanted to activate the ice making mode and put a drink inside, you can try to experiment with creating kind of slushy textures, but not completely since the top isn't sealed off. So it's not going to turn into a single block of ice. But yeah, this is kind of the maximum volume that the machine will reach. And you can see the temperature kind of dropping there in real time as well, with the internal chamber now getting quite chilly to the touch. Again, similar to the cooling pads you may have on a phone cooler or those neck-worn AC style fans, it's actually getting a little bit frosty, as you can see here on the very bottom container of the machine, with some of the liquid starting to form into ice and frost on the walls, as it is rapidly cooling down. And we can kind of verify that as well using the thermal camera. The inside is getting definitely quite chilly now compared to the outside layer is going to be dispelling plenty of heat from the fans. A little bit more visible now with the flash turn on. So this is going to be, again, very cold to the touch as it continues to run there in the background. So here's a couple of other images that we took with the thermal camera just recently, keeping the beverages much cooler, and at the same time the heating mode is also functional. So again, if you're trying to put in some tea or coffee directly instead into the cup. You can keep it preserved at a rather toasty temperature, as you can tell there, just by tapping on the hot button, and it will run in 30-second intervals, keeping you warm and toasty on a cold winter's day or night. A couple of final points though is because it is dispelling the hot air onto the environment, make sure that you're not blocking it out in terms of the vents. Ideally, you would have it in a space where it can circulate the air a little bit more freely for it to remain effective. Overall, it seems to be relatively accurate, at least in terms of the inside temperature. When we compared it with the thermal camera earlier, the numbers are mostly around the same, although the outside air does seem to be maybe a couple of temperatures higher on our thermal camera, perhaps just based on where they place the sensor, whether it's closer to the top or the bottom where the vents are. With that being said, again, it is a very simple product currently in terms of all the controls you are just triggering directly using the touchpad. Also, by the way, during the heating mode, of course, there is going to be no fans activated, so it is completely silent. That means there is no kind of optional Bluetooth mobile app, for example, that's available on your phone. Not that you would really need it for something that is still quite compact. Just keep an eye out for it and you should be good to go. Although I suppose that maybe one hidden benefit of having a companion app would be the ability for you to check for notifications, like maybe telling you that the 90-minute session is up if you are somewhere further away and you've left the unit running on its own. So being able to maybe schedule or automate some of those sessions or giving you some of those reminders might be a benefit of having a smart connected functionality, but currently everything is just basically displayed on the screen and touchpad on the top here, similar to most kitchen appliances. Also, you can see that running the 30-second heat session, all of the frost has now disappeared, and I can verify that the inside has now gotten a lot more warm and toasty in temperature. So there we have it. That is more or less it as far as our hands-on look at this kind of 3-in-1 interesting heating, cooling, as well as ice-making machine, designed for instances where you may not have room or space for a traditional maybe ice maker or a beverage cooler. Perhaps if you want to pop it into an RC, use it when traveling, as long as you have a power bank or a power supply nearby that you can plug it into. And yeah, the concept here is not bad, I would say, using a similar technology found in other existing tech that we've seen, including foam coolers, those neck-worn fan coolers, at least the slightly more fancy ones, that is, that have an actual cooling pad instead of just only being a fan. The fan part is really for dispelling the heat and keeping the inside just a little bit more cool for it to operate continuously. So even though it's not perfect, for example, again, you have to let it rest a little bit between sessions if you're using it for ice making, so it isn't going to be instantaneous, like you just tap on a button and instantly ice comes out. Also, during the initial ice creating batch, there is a slight scent to it, maybe because of the kind of materials that they're using as it gets heated up. But overall, as the fan started kicking in, it kind of quickly dispelled it. And by the time that I used it for the second, third session, the scent was pretty much gone. So I'm assuming it's more of a manufacturer or kind of factory scent. So it takes a little bit of time there to dissipate. But again, after using it for a couple of beverages now, I can no longer detect the same scent. So it kind of goes away, but something to just keep in mind. But at the same time, I still think it's a reasonably performing machine for something that's relatively small as kind of a first generation type of product. So you can check out more details if you're interested in something like this in the links down below. But for now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That has been just a 3-in-1 portable ice and drink temperature station.